As we told you at the top of the program, corn harvest is underway here in Louisiana, and so far the crop is looking pretty good. But like all supply and demand situations, prices for corn are expected to drop as farmers bring in an anticipated bumper crop. For more on that, we now turn to Neil Melancon with this week's Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry, and by First South Farm Credit, financing rural America since 1933.
Louisiana grain farmers are sitting pretty these days. Not only is there a big, beautiful crop in the field overall, but we're seeing some added value on corn prices from shipping. As Mike said, this is pretty typical for our state. Our big advantage is that we get the crop out of the field earlier than the Midwest, so we cover the gap between the old crop and the new. As a result, there is a lot of both markets and empty barges or ships we can take advantage of, just like what we're doing this year. What may surprise you, though, is that right now most of the corn we're shipping out is going upriver to the Midwest, especially to ethanol plants. With prices hitting multi-year lows and oil and gas prices still high, demand for Louisiana grains is at a premium right now. The only downside, of course, is the price. We've seen corn dip below $5 a bushel and soybeans below $12. With the barge basis above $1 in some parts, that still works out to a pretty good deal for our farmers right now. But what about that big Midwest crop hitting later on, especially as we head into next year? Well, on the one hand, Dr. Ronnie Levy at the LSU Ag Center thinks that we'll see prices return to where they were last year.
I think one of the issues is the number of cattle on feed because of the shortage of cattle, and there's just not as many on feed. The large crop, the large acreage is anticipated, but I don't know that we'll see all those things come together. So I think we're going to see, in my personal opinion, we're going to see a little increase in price, hopefully getting back to close to where we were last year.
On the other hand, Troy Lust at FC Stone sees us at the top of a wave where years of higher prices have caused a global glut of grain that isn't going away anytime soon.
This 5-year run here where we've had several opportunities of $6 and $7 corn and one opportunity of $8 has really responded in the farmer and the world market to more production. And we continue to see offers out of the Ukraine for new crop. We continue to see Argentina corn that's now been approved going into China trading significantly lower than even the current U.S. corn values. And depending on the location and the timing, any place from 65 cents to $1 lower.
The bottom line is, I think we'll ultimately see both of these things come to pass. In the short term, prices will be lower due to the surplus of grain and a big crop out of both the Midwest this year and from South America next. However, demand is being repaired, as Troy said, Mike, and I think we'll see these lower prices kick off a rebuilding of our livestock herd, as well as continued strong demand from ethanol here in the U.S. and China overseas.
And Neil, it would be nice to get a break both at the supermarket for that beef and at the gas pump for fuel. Neil Melancon, thanks. And remember, you can listen to any of Neil's reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Agri-News Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can tune in or listen online, click on over to our website, twilatv.org, and click on the LF Barn link. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Next week, we're headed back into Holly Clegg's Trim and Terrific Kitchen, where Holly and AJ are cooking up great recipes using those great Louisiana products. Until then, you can watch any of our stories from this week's show or past episodes on our website. You know the address, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.